Hopefully you had a nice weekend. No Indiana football to watch, but the Colts covered us up, though, right? Giving us a really good product. Okay, the Colts were awesome yesterday, right? It's the best that the offense had looked all year, and a large part of that was because of my client, Anthony Richardson. It's time for a little quarterback defense attorney. Anthony Richardson played really well yesterday. No way around it. I was sitting there. I was watching the game, just beaming the entire time. I was watching it with my friends. They're like, Jonathan, why are you so happy? Because, I have great friends, except for the fact that they don't really listen to my show. But that's fine. I don't expect them to. And I was like, because I've just got a lot of property on Anthony Richardson Island, right? I've been in his corner the entire time. No way around it. And he was awesome yesterday. He was so awesome, in fact, that Shane Steichen, he was so awesome, in fact, that his head coach, Shane Steichen, a guy who has, I think, a guy who shows less emotion than a pillow, actually showed a little bit of emotion during his press conference yesterday. Here's Shane Steichen talking about the performance that Anthony Richardson had.
It was great. Composure was phenomenal. 20 of 30 throwing the football for 275, 2 touchdowns, and a touchdown pass. He was on it today. It was awesome.
Sorry, and to show that composure in the fourth quarter in particular, I feel like that's where he was at his best. What does that say about him?
I think it's excitement more than anything. I mean, the guy, we know how talented he is, and he put in great work this week. Got to continue that because we know what type of player he can be in this league for sure.
Shane Steichen talking about how great Anthony Richardson was yesterday. You could hear he giggled. He's clearly excited, and look, clearly he's happy after that win, big time win. The Colts needed it, and as he said, Anthony Richardson was incredible yesterday. By far the best game of his career. 20 of 30, 272 yards, a passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns as well. That was hands down the best performance we've seen from Anthony Richardson. Okay, like that is what I think everyone needed to see, and I think that's what Anthony Richardson needed to experience. Like, he needed to know that he can be the guy, because he hadn't had a game like that yet. He hadn't. And you walk away from that game, or I walk away from that game like, okay, maybe he is going to be the franchise quarterback of the Colts for the next decade. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's one game, and I am excited, and I feel very right now. But that one game where he completed 67% of his passes, that one game where he threw for 272 yards and a passing touchdown and finished drives off with touchdowns when they got down by the goal line, as awesome as all that is, it does not erase all of the bad things that he has done from my mind. But that is clearly progress. Okay, like there's one throw that he made. And look, like when he hits the deep shots to Alec Pierce and to Michael Pittman, and on the first 3rd and 8 of the game, he throws that ball to Josh Downs, and Josh Downs makes a great catch. Like, those aren't the surprising things. Like those were all things that we knew that he could do. But there's one play where he drops back. It's like 3rd and 3. Michael Pittman Jr. runs a quick 4-yard out route, and Anthony Richardson put it right on him. Right in the chest, Anthony Richardson. Michael Pittman Jr. catches it, takes 2 steps in bounds, walks out of bounds, first down, let's move the chains. That was the biggest thing, right? Like this small improvement in the short accuracy. Look, I don't expect him to make every single throw. I don't know if you watched Bills Chiefs, but Josh Allen missed multiple throws. Patrick Mahomes missed multiple throws. If you watch the Russell Wilson and the Steelers, guess what? Russell Wilson missed multiple throws. Like, it happens. Okay, like, you aren't going to be pinpoint accurate on every single throw, right? Like, he missed that first throw to Kyle and Granson, and I had people in my mentions immediately, which is crazy. But hey, I don't mind it. And honestly, I wish more people would tweet at me at __ Jonathan Smith. That would be great. And like you're going to miss throws like that from time to time. Okay, like we saw Justin Herbert miss a wide open Ladd McConkey last night. Just sailed it out of bounds. Like quarterbacks are going to miss throws from time to time. You just can't miss them at the same rate Anthony Richardson had been before yesterday. He was awesome. And look, if you tune in here, if you tune into the other station, wherever, you're going to hear people talk a lot about the physical performance that we saw from Anthony Richardson, and rightfully so, because he was great. Best game he's played. But the maturity is clearly gotten better. They have no, look, I'm not saying that he's a pro's pro like Shane Steichen did, but he has clearly developed in that area. There wasn't any he gets tackled, he fakes being hurt, and then gets up really fast. When he came off the field, they cut to him running straight to Jim Bob Cooter, Colts offensive coordinator, sitting down on the bench and looking at the tablet. He just looked more mature. After the game, at the press conference, he put his hat on forward. Big brownie points in my world, okay? Like, he just looked more mature. He looked ready to play. He looked ready to go. And that is why he had the best game of his career. Okay, like we saw everything in that performance. He ran the ball not great, but well enough. He hit some big plays down the field. He hit guys underneath, which is amazing. Like when you hit a guy like A.D. Mitchell underneath who runs a 4.31 in stride, it's almost like because he runs a 4.31, he can turn it upfield and pick up 33 yards like he did. Almost scored a touchdown there. Okay? Like it's amazing what happens when you hit the easy throws, and we saw him hit some passes over the middle as well, kind of in that like 10 to 18 yard range, and it was amazing. And as a guy who is a Dolphins fan, because I am, like, full disclosure, I'm not a Colts fan. I'm a Dolphins fan who has to sit back and watch Tua every week, but obviously, like, I didn't watch them much yesterday because I was watching the Colts game. As someone who has to watch Tua every week, like, I was jealous of watching the Colts offense. I was jealous of Colts fans because of Anthony Richardson's athleticism and how it allows him to make plays off script. When you look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, they all have that ability when the first guy is covered up and the second guy is covered up to leave the pocket or maneuver the pocket, keep the play alive long enough to find someone open. And we saw that from Anthony Richardson yesterday, specifically on third downs to keep drives alive, right? Like that ability to make plays off script showed up on multiple downs. Okay, look up. Michael Pittman Jr. is covered. Josh Downs is covered. Oh, crap. The pocket's breaking down because we're starting 3 rookie offensive linemen. And he was able to find a way to maneuver around, find someone who's open, and move the chains. Here is Shane Steichen after the game talking about Anthony Richardson's ability to create when plays break down.
Yeah, no, he had a few that, if the guy was hanging on him and he got away, it's like, throw it away. It's like, oh, he's hanging on to the ball. It's like, throw it. And he got it off, which was, phenomenal. Just goes to show you the strength that he has. But yeah, he made some big time throws, obviously downs there on the third down. And then obviously the one to downs that we scored the touchdown on too. It was good to see all the receivers kind of get involved.
That was Shane Steichen right there talking about Anthony Richardson and his ability to make plays after plays break down. Physically, Anthony Richardson was great. The accuracy was there. The arm strength was on display. The running ability was on display. The size and the strength to run over safeties, to get in the end zone, to score 2 touchdowns. Like that was on display. Like the Colts, though, I think the biggest thing, though, that we saw from Anthony Richardson was that when it was time to be the guy, he was the guy. The Colts needed back-to-back touchdown drives in the fourth quarter to win that game, and he provided both of them. And they weren't fluky. Like, the Jets didn't commit a face mask penalty. Like, nothing like that happened. Anthony Richardson was simply awesome. He was 8 for 10 on both of those drives. When he needed to be great, he was. When the Jets knew that he was going to throw the football, it didn't matter. He was still awesome. And that was honestly the best stretch of the game from him. Okay, like in my notes, after the third drive, I was like, this is what the peak version of Anthony Richardson looks like. And then He just got better. And then you look at the last 2 drives, it's like, oh, wow, that is impressive. His ability to rise to the occasion when the Colts needed him to was awesome. And the one thing that we have to talk about with him and his performance yesterday is the toughness that he displayed. Most 22-year-olds who take a job out of college, right, with this idea of I'm the next face of the company, I'm supposed to be the next CEO, I'm supposed to have a ton of success. 22-year-olds who take jobs with those expectations, then get demoted, probably pout, right? And then they sit in their lesser position and they're sad and they let it ruin their life, or their career life at least. That is not what Anthony Richardson did. Anthony Richardson got benched 2 weeks ago. He didn't pout, despite Joe Flacco, a 39-year-old, taking his spot for those 2 weeks. Instead, he got to work. He went in. They talked about how he met with Shane Steichen and those guys, and he did what Shane Steichen and everyone else in that building asked him to do for 2 weeks. Okay? Then, when he got an opportunity to show that he has improved, he comes out and he played the best game of his career. That, to me, is impressive. That is a sign of toughness. Like that is mental toughness on full display. Things didn't go my way. I have an opportunity to change the narrative, and he did. Okay, here he is after the game talking about how being benched really here he is after the game talking about returning from being benched.
No, I felt good, but today I was just taking it one play at a time. I wasn't even thinking about the past 2 weeks. I'm just thinking about where I am now. I'm in this stadium. I was in MetLife Stadium today, so that's where I try to keep my mindset at. Just make it work each play, and that one right there, I was lucky I was able to get in the end zone.
Anthony Richardson right there talking about just being in the moment. Like he whoever asked that question, I don't remember who it was, set him up to make a statement, to kind of send a slight message. Like in that spot, you could hear an Aaron Rodgers hinting at the benching, right? Anthony Richardson very, very easily could have said something about how he didn't like being benched. So, he went to work and, all those things. And he could have made a comment about how he thought he never should have been benched or anything like that. Instead, he sidestepped the question entirely. And that is a sign of maturity. Okay, the last time he started a game, we saw him make a grave mistake in addressing the media, saying he was tired when he came out. He didn't make a mistake there, okay? He had an opportunity to say something negative, and he didn't. He sidestepped the question entirely. That, to me, is a sign of him growing in maturity. The ability to work through failure is a sign of toughness and maturity, and you have to have both of those things to succeed in the NFL and really in anything. If you're not tough and you're not mature, you're going to have a tough going in the real world. Okay. And we not only saw that toughness and maturity in the way that he responded to the benching, but we also saw it in response to being down late in the game. Back-to-back touchdown drives when you needed it to win the game. Like that is a sign of mental toughness and pushing through hard things. And you have to have that at the quarterback spot. Look, I don't know if Anthony Richardson is going to be the future of the Colts franchise or not. I've been in his corner the entire time. Okay, we do the quarterback, the defense attorney when he plays bad, and it's fun, and I enjoy it. And I've had just a blast, defending this guy. Okay, but that being said, it's one great game. It's just one. Okay, and I will say, though, after this game, I think everyone is more comfortable with the idea of him potentially becoming the franchise quarterback going forward. Okay? In that game yesterday, he showed why the Colts took him 4th overall. And he also showed, the importance of that benching for 2 weeks. Okay? And as impressive as the physical tools were, I am more impressed with how he responded to being the guy again, with how he responded to being benched and the toughness that he showed late in the game to finish it off and to give the Colts a much-needed win. They're 5-6. Playoffs still very much possible. Okay, look, they got the Lions this week, who just hung 52 up on the Jags. So we'll see how that goes. We need another game like this from Anthony Richardson. Just an incredibly impressive game from him, and I can't wait to watch him play again on Sunday.